Okay, so we have some things to talk about. Let me show you first. I'm sitting here drinking a coffee. My plans changed. I wasn't going shopping today. I was going to be working out in the garden, but plans have changed on that. So I had to go get some gas. I run to the store. So at the Goodwill, I found some home interiors candles. They've been burnt just the least little bit. They were $1.99, but home interiors, and they smell wonderful. So I got 2 watermelons and a peaches and cream. They smell wonderful. And then 4 of these placemats. I like them. I have a few that are striped like that. I like them. And you very rarely find 4 placemats. And if you do, they're not ones you like. So then I went to another Goodwill, didn't find nothing. Went to another Goodwill and found this. It's a jean skirt. Well, the pants that I'm wearing now are pants that were too small for me just a couple months ago, and now I got them on, and they're too big. So they're size 28. Y'all know I started in a 34. So these are 28s, and a flock of pigeons could fly out the stomach. I told you I could put a pillow in one of them and go with Santa Claus. So I'm like, I told David, and they're 28s. I'm like, you reckon I wear 26? Well, I don't know. It don't, in my head, 26 don't sound right because I don't wear 26. You see what I'm saying? So today I thought I'm going to see if I can find some that's a 26, because the shorts that I got and then the capris I got, they're big. I tell you, they fit, but then it's like when you wear them, they get loose and the stomach is all puffy. And so if the shirt don't go over it, it makes them look bigger. And so I'm like, well, I'll look for some 26s, see what I can find. I can find them. Some really big pants. And I look at them and they're 20s. I see those a lot. They look really big. I'm like, those look like they would fit me, and they're 20s. So I don't know. But anyway, I found this. Let me set that down. And I've wanted a jean skirt because I used to wear jean skirts all the time back when they were popular. And you can't find them anymore. And you still can't find them for big people. So when I seen this one, I'm like, I'm going to get it and save it, because it'll fit me soon. Let me show you the size. Let's see. It's a K-toe. Can you see that? K-toes, size 24. So I come home. You know I couldn't wait. I had to try it on. I had to find out. It fits. OMG. A 24 skirt fits. The pants I'm wearing now are 28s. I was looking for a 26. Bought a 24 just to have on hand. Lo and behold, it fits. So I'm like, hold up. I think I got a skirt in yonder that I got saved up. I got some clothes that don't fit me saved up in those little zip bags I got at the Dollar Tree under my bed in there. And there was a khaki, lightweight khaki skirt. It's from Cato's. I pulled that thing out. It's a 24. I'm like, that one looks kind of small. It fit. It fit. Oh my gosh. I don't think size 24 pants will fit because my thighs are so big. But who knows? I'm definitely going to get a 26. If I can find one. Well, I can find long pants, but I want capris or longer shorts. I don't want short shorts. I want the shorts that goes like to your knees. You know, that's what I got now. I think what I may do on that pair of shorts is put some darts in them. See if that'll help them, because they're so big. I need a belt. They're just hanging loose they're that big. So I may work on that. But we were supposed to be down there working on the garden. Now y'all know it has, and I told y'all this the other day, the weatherman said out of 17 weeks, the weekends, it's rained 15 of them. I'm like, don't we know it? He's not been able to till. It's rained on him every weekend. And if it didn't rain Saturday, it rained all day Friday, or it gully washed Saturday, or it didn't rain Saturday, and he had to mow, he had to get leaves up, he had to do other things before he could till. So yesterday it didn't rain, and he was able to mow the field. Okay, that's where the garden's going. Well, there ain't been a garden in that spot for probably, well, since before his daddy died. His daddy's been gone, I don't know, 10 years, 13 years, some long time. And we never made another garden after he died, because he wasn't down there to help David tend it. So David couldn't do it all himself, and I wasn't able to go do it all myself. So we just never have made another one. Well, he got it mowed yesterday, and this morning, Lord, let me tell you about my morning first before we talk about that. So I go in here into the bathroom and I flushed it, and the water was brown, dirty looking. I'm like, that ain't right. So I flushed it again, and it was dirty looking. I'm like, I flushed it one more time. I'm like, okay, so either something's going on in the back of the tank, or let me check the sink. So I plugged the sink up, the thing, turned it on, dirty water. So I went in there and looked up the water department phone number, and it said the answering machine is on 24/7, holidays and weekends. People monitored, right? I'm like, oh, well, I'll just leave a message and tell them our water's brown and give them the address. Well, it was like 6:20 in the morning, and a boy answered. I'm like, oh, I said, I'm sorry. I thought I was leaving a message on the machine. I didn't mean to wake you up. I could tell. He sounded like maybe he was on call to answer the phones. Maybe. And so I told him what was going on. He goes, well, he said, somebody hit a fire hydrant last night uptown. I said, at the Jiggy with the Piggy, because it's a barbecue festival we got here every year. I wanted to go, but with David working down yonder and everything, it just was not going to work out. He goes, they don't give us none of the details. He said, we just out there getting wet. I said, oh, that's bad. So he said, go in there and run your cold water for 15 minutes, and if it don't clear it up, call back. So I come down and run both sinks and the bathtub and then the kitchen sink. 15 minutes, it was still brown, so I called back. And the way it rang, it sounded like it was going to the voicemail. I'm like, okay. Well, then he answered again. I said, it's me again. So we talked a minute, and he took my address down. He goes, well, he said, I told you we was working all over town last night. He said, we'll be all over town today. Went to Food Line to get some water. Needed coffee and water, and I was not going to drink it, right? Didn't know. Well, he told me when I called back after they was working around, and he would give them my address if it wasn't better by noon, call back. I'm like, I can't be sitting here all noon with no coffee and water. So I went to Food Line, and I come back the other way because I meant to get a bag of ice. I'm like, well, maybe I don't want to use my ice, So I come up the wrong way, the opposite way in which I come home, and Gail's was closed. So I come on home, but when I did, I noticed down yonder, they was flushing the hydrant. I'm like, oh, well, my address, since I called and talked to somebody, they give them my address, and so they started with me. I thought that's pretty cool. Well, I come on in. I didn't bit more get in that room back yonder. hold on. Okay, I'm sorry, but I couldn't tell if that was David's truck. It's some other pickup truck out there with a big old bulldozer, excavator, something, whatever you call it, on there. Sebastian would know. And I had a bit more get back under to change my clothes. There was a knock on the door. I knew it was the city because it was a little after 7 o'clock in the morning, and he was just right there. I figured he's going to come up here and say, I flushed the thing out, check your water, let it run, all this and that. Well, I opened the door, this big old tall man. I mean, tall and thin, very tall. And we stood there talking, and he was telling me, well, we're going to be in the neighborhood, and we're going to be around town, all this and that. And he goes, how long you lived here? I said, well, my mama built this house in 71. He goes, I thought that was you, Kim. I said, what? He took his sunglasses off. He said, it's me, giving me his name. I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? I said, come on up in here and give me a hug. Well, we went to school together. And I'll tell you. He goes, you dated so-and-so. I'm like, yes. He goes, well, he's up, and he's his cousin, so he can say what he wants to say, I suppose. He's up, and he inserts a word. I'm like, oh, really? So he proceeded to tell me some things, to prove the fact that he was that word. I said, well, he cheated on me in high school. He goes, yes, and I thought you were such a sweetheart. I'm like, me too. So we stood out there and talked about that a little bit, And then I said, well, listen, was it somebody get drunk at that festival and run over that hydrant? He goes, no. He said, here, let me show you a picture. So he showed me, it was a geyser. Oh my gosh, it looked like something coming up out of the volcano geyser. It was crazy looking. It was not a typical fire hydrant. And then I found out why. He said one of the vendors was in a pickup truck and pulling a trailer, run up on that fire hydrant. Said it'd been fine if that'd just been the hydrant, because he said it's got an automatic shut off. He said, but it broke it down into the water main, and knocked out 8 feet of the water main. He said cars around it was damaged. He said, but they was illegally parked. I said, well, then good luck getting something from the city if you wasn't where you was supposed to be. He said it was a mess. So that's what happened to our water main in town. So let's see. I went in there. David got up a little bit later. It wasn't too much longer. He got up and he went in there and made him some breakfast. And I made me a cup of coffee and sat down there and talked to him while he was eating. And he's talking about the garden, and I said, I made you a thing here that shows you what we have and how many feet, of seeds the amount of seeds that we got, how many feet it covers. I said, I made you a thing so you know how big to plant the garden and everything. Well, I had already asked RJ yesterday, would he mind helping till, because David's wrist is not doing good at all. It's not. And he said that constant beating just it's one of them 0-turn mowers, but it's got like those 2 handle things that go like that. The constant beating is, so he's got a problem with his bones. His bones are separated and moved and deteriorated, and his wrist, the option is surgery. And he says it'll put him out of, the doctor told him it'll put him out of work for 6 months. He said, I'm just going to live with it. He won't do it. He won't do it. He said it. He said, I won't do it. He said, I'll just live with it as long as I can live with it. I said, well, you're not living with it now. He goes, well, I ain't going to be out of work for those 6 months. So, RJ said, well, of course he would. Well, did I already tell you yet? We was going to go down there later today because he had his video visit with Sebastian, at 9, and then they had to go pick up something. Did I tell you that? I'm having a deja vu at Best Buy, and then Holly was just going to drop him off over here. Me and him was going to go down there. Well, in the meantime, Holly messages me and said the tiller won't start. Now, this is a brand new tiller. This is its maiden voyage, and it's not a typical run-of-the-mill tiller. He calls it a tractor. He said he had to get something big enough and powerful enough to dig up that land. I'm like, okay, whatever, you know. Well, in the meantime, RJ says we're on our way from Best Buy. I'm like, okay. Well, I didn't hear no more back. I asked Holly, was it running? I didn't hear no more back. So I'm like, well, I ain't heard back, so maybe it is. Sitting in the car, because I told RJ, I said, I'll meet you out in the car. We'll just go from there. So sitting out in the car, waiting on RJ to get here, and my phone rings, and it's David. I said, hey, what you doing? He goes, well, we got to back up and pump. I said, what? He said, that tiller's just bouncing off that land. He said, it's going to burn whatever up. The belt's squealing. It's going to burn something up. I don't know. He says, just bouncing. He said, it won't go. It won't touch it. I'm like, well, what are we going to do? He said, well, Randy, that's his cousin. He helps him do stuff. Randy says, maybe we can run water and soak it and soften it up. He said, well, I don't want to run the well dry. I said, well, it's supposed to rain tonight, they said. He says, well, you want to let it rain? Let me come back and see if I can till it tomorrow? I said, well, yeah, let's do that. So while we're talking, Randy's over talking to him too. He said, well, we can get Billy and Jimmy Wayne. If them ain't country names, country boys, I don't know what is. Come over here and cultivate it for us. David's like, well, let me go. We're going to ride over here at their house and see if they can come do something. Because they do that kind of stuff. They got farm equipment and whatever. Well, I don't hear back. And I don't hear back. RJ had already come, and when he got here, I got out the car to go over and see him, and he's like, he goes, oh my gosh, look at you. I'm like, he said, how much weight have you lost? I'm like, well, I don't think it's that much, is it? He goes, well, you look skinny. He said, from the last time I seen you, he goes, oh my gosh, he couldn't get over it. I'm like, oh, well. So when we were standing there talking, my cousin who lives right there, she come by and rolled the window down. She goes, hey, skinny Minnie. I said, so she hadn't seen me either because it's been winter. We don't get out and about in the winter. And if you are, you're out there in a big coat, you know. So I talked to RJ a little bit, and I said, well, I'm going to go get some gas and do, you know, run to the thrift store since we're not going down there. When I was at the Value Village, that's the last place I went. And I thought, well, before I go home, let me call, see if he wants something to eat. Because if he's been down there and it didn't work out, he'll come up here, he'll be hungry. I just wanted to make sure if he was home, if he wanted something, I'd bring him something. He finally answered. I was surprised he had his phone with him, to be honest. I said, hey, where are you at? He goes, in the field. Why? I said, in the field. I said, well, what's going on? He goes, well, Billy and Jimmy Wayne come over and said if we'd have started a month or two ago, we'd be all right. He says, yeah, I know. It's been raining. Ain't you had a chance? He goes, Billy tells him, he goes, I know. I'm in the same boat. He's got some he's needing to do. He said, if I'm lucky, I'll get a lake garden, just like you. So, he says, told him, he said, the best thing you can do, because this grass is so deep in this area, in this field. It is so deep. He said, you're going to have to get you some Roundup and kill it. however, put it on there, wait however long, put some more on there. He said, get it all dead. He said, we'll come over here and turn it over. He said, let it sit, and then we'll come over and turn it over again. Make sure all that grass is dead. And he said, and then if you're lucky, you'll get a late garden. So there goes my garden. If we're lucky, we'll get one in. I should have known not to get excited about it. Y'all know that's why I'm a pessimist. Because every time I get excited about something, something happens. And I sent Joan pictures of the little markers I made to put, and I had everything here at the house to make them. I had the paint stirrers and the jumbo popsicle sticks and a black Sharpie, and I made markers for everything we were going to plant. And I sent her pictures. I'm like, oh, look, this is for the garden. She goes, perfect. I'm excited, thrilled about it. We're going down there today. I was going to rake out grass clods, and now we ain't going to have no garden, I don't think, if we get lucky. But we got 36 tomato plants out there that we got to find somewhere to put. Good times, good times. Oh, listen. When I was up in the second Goodwill, there was this young man. He was tall, but he was probably in his 30s. Had a beard and stuff. And he walked by me, and he turned and he goes, I can't remember exactly which way he phrased it. It was like, I like your tattoo, sweetie. He called me sweetie. However he phrased, like in my tattoo, sweetie was in there. This boy that I could be his mama called me sweetie. He liked my tattoos. You know, somebody the other day, I can't remember where I was, told me they liked my tattoos. And then when I got to the register to buy my skirt, the girl, she says, I don't never get to see your other tattoos. She goes, oh, I like those. And she goes, I like the owls. She said, I like owls too. And she had one up here. So I got, when it starts time to wear your tank tops out and everything can be seen, that's when you start getting your compliments about your ink. So that was pretty cool. But what was there? Lord have mercy, was there anything else? Seemed like they was something else. I was like, I got to tell y'all. I got to tell y'all that. I can't remember. But boy, it's been an eventful day. Brown water. My ex-boyfriend is a blank. And the garden is kaflooey. Holly and Nathan and Jacob are heading out tonight to go to Indiana, where he's from, up there at his grandma and grandpa's house. I asked her, I says, well, are you going to be back for Mother's Day? She said, yes, she'll be back Friday or Saturday probably, because we're going to have a taco bar. And I'm going to get to use, I've just left it sitting here. If you didn't see my last haul, my big plate, I'm going to use this. Oh, it's so heavy. This, when I looked it up, was on sale for $95. I paid $7.99. So I'm going to use it Sunday to put all my taco fixings in. I think it'll be so pretty. Just so pretty. I'm excited about that. So, I think maybe that is all I know. Oh, I finished I should have brought it in here and showed you. I ain't going to show you until I get it washed and ironed. Because, you know, you wash it and the stencil will wash out. And then you can iron it and mount it in a picture frame or however in a, hoop, whatever you want to do to it. I'm not sure yet how I'll do that one. I got another one I did that I've just never washed and put in anything. I need to look about it. Because it's a shame to go to all that trouble for it just to sit in a box somewhere, But I was glad to get that one through. I think now I'm going to start on my, when I get a minute to go in there and lay my Afghan squares, my little granny squares out on the bed and get the pattern, get started sewing that thing together. But Well, that's all I know. That, I think that's enough, don't you? So, I am putting this up today because Tuesday is Tag Tuesday. Now, I ain't gonna make no promises if it's just gonna be me or me and Mr. Smooth. My tongue got stuck. Mr. Smooth. Because if he's busy down there Monday, he ain't gonna have time to sit down and do no tag before he goes to work Monday night. And if he works down there all day Monday, he will be up late going to bed. He will only have a couple hours of sleep before he goes to work. So when he comes in Tuesday morning, if he didn't have time to get a nap that night, he will be dogged out tired. And I will not ask him to sit down and do a tag when he can't hardly think. So, you may see me or you may see me and him. And if he's not on there, don't throw tomatoes at the screen if it's just me. Listen, I got to go back and read them questions because they're thinking questions, memory questions, and y'all know that just don't always work too good. So it'll be hard. But that'll do it for me for this little chatting haul. I feel like I had more chatting than I had hauling on this one because we had things we needed to talk about. So, oh, good news of the day was that the size 24s fit. There was good news of the day other than that other good news. Yes, I started in a 34 110 pounds ago. 110 pounds took me from a 34 to a 24. I'm scared to try 24 pants. I'm scared to. I'm going 26. I really am, I think, if I can find them. I don't know. Or I'll just sew these ones I got. Have y'all ever put darts in front? I have always put my darts in the back of pants. That's how I've always done them. Have y'all ever put darts in the front? Because that's where the big bulky part is. The part where they think everybody is built like Santa Claus. And they're not, you know? So, I don't know. Let me know down below if you've ever darted up the front. Because whatever I do, my shirts will hang down over it. You won't see it. I mean, I wouldn't go down real far, but whatever I would do, you wouldn't be able to see with my shirts hanging over it. So I don't know. I'll just have to study on that. Okay, well, I'm gonna stop up chatting and go in here and get me something to eat. I hadn't had no lunch today, and it is way past lunchtime. And then I shall sit down and edit this video for your viewing pleasure. Oh my gosh. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'll be back tomorrow with a Motivational Monday. What do y'all think? Y'all want a Motivational Monday tomorrow? I'm thinking we might get us one. Okay, well, that's all I'm going to talk about then. I'll see you. Bye.